So we finally have our top two NA and EU teams, and we gotta sit up for this because I'm actually super excited to talk about this. So I made a video a couple days ago, basically giving my predictions on which two teams would make top two. For NA, I thought it would be EU United and Splice, and for EU, I thought it would be Dignitas and Obey, depending on the scenario. I didn't actually know the scenario. I didn't know that they had the 2-0 energy and 2-0 mouse or SK, whoever they face on Thursday. I did not know that. I did predict that they would have to. I knew they would have to 2-0 at least energy, but I didn't know if they would. So I'm gonna kind of also say I predicted energy to win just because of the simplicity of how they would get top two. So I was pretty much right. And here we are. So let's start with EU. Team Dignitas, which, if I was to order all four of these teams in power rankings, I don't see how you don't put Dignitas at number one. They have looked clean throughout most of the split outside of, a few hiccups at LAN here and there, but I have consistently thought they were the best team in the world last season, and I've never thought anything different this season. Dignitas are far and away the top card, and my prediction actually win Worlds. As long as they don't choke. Again. Which again, unlike Season 3 and Season 4, with how they did in Season 5, they literally could not choke away getting the Worlds. They physically, even if they wanted to choke it away, they couldn't. So I guess that's the one good thing of the new system, that Dignitas would automatically get in as number one CDU, which is great for them. Awesome. Hopefully they can, keep it going into Worlds. Because they're up here, but who knows? It's happened before with other teams. Because they're not, consistently playing SPL caliber games, and also other teams are getting better. These teams are down here, Dignitas is up here, they slowly, get there. Kind of happened with energy, in previous seasons. Even the season 3 when they won, and then you definitely see in season 4, they were up here, far and away, but other teams slowly crept up to them while they were getting, worse. Not saying they became a bad team, but it just wasn't as easy for them anymore. You know what I'm saying? So. But I still do think Dignitas at this point in time are the best team in the world. And as long as they don't slow down, at the very least, they make like. I feel like semifinals is like a given. Like if they don't make semifinals, I honestly think that that's a failure. In my opinion, like making worlds for this team, the star power, and how well they performed the last 2 seasons, like just making the worlds is not enough. They have to, at the very least, make semis, and at the very, very worst, if they just have to lose in semis, take it to 5 games. And, like, lose to, like, the team that wins or something. Like, if they don't make it to freaking semis, I don't even know, man. So, energy. If you told me in the spring split that energy would barely make worlds, honestly, if you talk to me personally, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if you looked at it objectively, you're like, what, dude? It should have been easy for them, maybe not easy is maybe the wrong word, but how close it actually was to the maybe average Smite fan or maybe the slightly smarter Smite fan, it would have been like, yeah, energy should have made it, right? Yeah. But honestly, I didn't even think they should have made Worlds in Season 4. I truly thought it should have been Dig Rival. But, you seen, it was actually Obey Rival, because, Actually, it was Obey Rival and Energy, sorry. Dig should have made it over Energy, like, period, but stuff happens. We've gotten over it. Energy in the spring split did not look that tasteful. I believe they were third, if I remember. It was Dig number 1, Rival 2, Energy 3, Obey 4. From what I remember. Then in Spring Split, no, wait, was it Spring? Oh, Summer Split, sorry, Summer. They kicked it up a notch and actually won the LAN over Rival, who was kind of become their, like their kryptonite. Is good, no matter how good Energy would look, Rival would just beat them. But finally, in the spring and the fall split, sorry, Energy can safely say they did it. Now, obviously, teams in the placement stage can still make worlds, but they can say, hey, we don't have to go to the placement stage. We're already in it, baby. We automatically go to Atlanta. Which, again, looking at the top 4 in EU, top 4, you have Dig, Energy, Rival, and Obey. That's scary. Literally, any 4 of those teams could win worlds. Now, Obey probably, would be, maybe not win worlds, easily, but they definitely are in contention to win worlds since, especially right now, they're kind of hot right now. They could definitely win. Dig can win it on any day. Rival can win it on any day. Energy can win it on any day. That's really scary, especially if you're an A fan, because EU, EU United the last week and a half haven't looked that. I mean, they've looked clean, but most of the time when they've looked clean, it's mostly because they're just trolling and they're just better, not because oh my gosh, this teamwork is fantastic. It's just, yeah, Bastion's pretty much better than every mid laner, and Scream just pops off. It's kind of that simple, in my opinion. But all 4 of these EU teams, as an NA resident, I'm still somewhat fearful. As good as EU United's looked, and as good as Spice's looked at the latter half, obviously that we're not ruling out any other NA team or even the SML and SGS. I mean, we kind of are, but you're technically not allowed to, because anything can happen on any given day, especially when if Black Dragon's into the tournament, because Nocturnes should have. Okay, I'm gonna say this, but you have to kind of bear with me what I say. Nocturnes probably should have 2-0'd Energy at Worlds, especially that game 1. The fact that they lost kind of blows. They looked they are the best, what we call international team. Every team's technically international to somebody. But if you were to compare it to how League of Legends works, NA and EU would be major regions, and every other, well, not every other region, but the other regions are emerging regions. I really wouldn't call Brazil, LATAM, and SEA emerging, but if you want to put it in that kind of sense. And there you kind of always the powers, they're like the Koreas, the Chinas, and the NAs, right? The big scenes, right? Well, Black Dragons have consistently been this close to beating them, no matter what season it would have been. But kind of just going back to Energy, I don't want to say this Cinderella story, but the fact that people started to count them out, especially after that spring split. And then to now see that they're top 2 by this much, but they're top 2. Now, going to NA, we have Splice, the second seed, who qualified today, going against Space Station, which they 2-0'd, I believe. They either, no, did they 2-1? Actually, I believe they 2-1, because I believe Space Station won game 2. If my memory serves me correctly. I have a code. Spice. So, their story is probably the best story you could have possibly had when it comes to professional play. You were the absolute worst team. You were dog meat, just absolutely any word you want to come up with. They were by far the worst SPL team in NA. They were definitely better than SK and probably Mouse and EU, but in NA they were god awful. People were asking, who should get replaced, almost instantly. But spring split, They were awful. Summer split, which some people don't remember because they only remember like what happened this split. In summer, they almost made LAN. Actually, they actually were the third best team, and I even forget that sometimes. We're just like, oh my gosh, Splice has just come alive in this fall split, which they have. But if you also remember, they almost made LAN last split as well, which is actually just crazy to think of. How much better they are this split, and they made LAN. And they almost made it last lane. They're like 2 times as better now as they were then. That's crazy. They have just world class side lanes, and their mid jungle support have really started to sync up. And Splice is looking scary, man. Especially to these EU teams who have not faced them. Now, cause like you can only get so much off of film and just word of mouth, but like actually playing a team, especially a team where you don't know what's going to happen, you have zero clue how to truly prep for Splice. I would kind of be anti now. Splice, they haven't really had any LAN slash international experience as of late. I believe the last LAN that anyone on their team went to was, I know Sino with Trifecta went to Valencia and almost beat Energy. I'm trying to think. Divios was last time I remember was in season 3. What team was Divios in season 4? Wait a second. Wait, actually, was there a Negro in season 4? Actually, no. I'm pretty sure you might have taken a break. Regardless, the last time I remember anyone was on land was Sino in season 4. Now, if any other players, AOG, Cyclone was there for AOG. They did not make LAN. Aurora and Divios, I can't remember. And the best has not been LAN forever. And Moswell was technically at a LAN in season 5, but it was for SML, and those are they're not comparable. They're just not. Yes, it's LAN, but SML and SPL, they're not comparable when it comes to Skull. They're just not. But Splice, I'm really excited to see how they're going to do at Worlds. I want to see the interesting strategies they come up with. I just want to see how they play through and who they play through. Because again, I think their side lanes are their strongest point. But especially Sino has really surprised a lot of people with his play. Now, I've always thought he was... I don't want to say I've always thought he was this good. But I always knew this is where his ceiling was. And he still has higher to go from where he's playing. He's playing insane right now. Am I ready to call him the second best jungler in NA? Am I ready? Because obviously Scream's #1. I think he's better than Andister. He's better than Homie Faye and Mask and Weekend and Sam. Yeah, I think Salon's the second best jungler in NA. Yeah, I'm confident in saying that actually, yes. But no about Splice though. Then we have United. Far and away the best NA team. Just that, dude, just the freaking slap popping they just gave CLG today hurt my soul. And the funny thing is, like, CLG actually had moments in both games where they could have won, but it's just like basking on Scylla, just scream on anything. Oh gosh, it's even though I think Splice will surprise a lot of teams, do I think they can win Worlds? I want to say no. Do I think United can win Worlds? Yes. And I think they're the best chance outside of Dig to actually win Worlds. I put Dig clear #1, then I actually put United second. I'm talking about and then this is like overall power rankings. I think United has the second best chance to win Worlds. At this point in time, I predict it's going to be, depending on, if I had to make the bracket in my head, it would be United and Dig on opposite sides of the bracket. They would meet in the finals. Then I want to say, do I want to put Energy? I actually think Splice can make semis. And if I had to put like another team that's EU and semis, I'd have to say Obey. I think Energy will find some way to like break down in the game and they'll lose a set. And I think Energy will just barely get beat. And I think Obey can win. I don't know what it is about Obey, but like just the way they've come alive, just I just feel like out of nowhere they're just gonna beat everyone. Now again, I don't think they'll make finals. And if Obey didn't go, I have to say Energy. So I would actually have to say these four teams would be semifinals and finals. And whatever order it is, whoever's against whoever, because I don't know how the brackets will technically be. It could be Dig versus Splice, freaking Dig versus Energy, United versus Splice, whoever. So I'd have to say these are the top four teams, and then Obey would be like fifth when it comes to actually having a chance to win Worlds. So that's my opinion on it, guys. I want to reiterate: Dig number 1, United number 2. Just if we're gonna look at these four, Energy number 3, Splice number 4 in this list. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. I have a camo bandana on.